Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Habayim to the Kolel Agar de Pirka Monday afternoon National Shiur. Today is a very special day, Yud Gimel Teves. Yud Gimel Teves is the Yahrtzeit of the Ben La'ashri, the Tzaddik of Ranana. Today's Shiur is dedicated by my dear friend, Dr. Meir Fuchs, V'rayasai, Le'iloi Nishmas, Dr. Fuchs's father, Sam Fuchs, Shmuel Moshe Ben Meir, whose Yahrtzeit is today Yud Gimel Teves, who's Nifter, Yud Gimel Teves, Tafshin Samachay. The Fuchs family is one of the patrons of the Maggid Harakiah series. On this occasion, we're mevarich their family, then the Neshama Sham and Aliyah B'Yomel Sersher for the whole Mishpacha Ad Bi'Askal Tzedek. Today is, as we mentioned, the Yahrtzeit of the Ben La'ashri. As many know, over the last couple of years, we've really tried to disseminate his Torah. He's a great makubal, someone who my family had a kesher with for many generations, about 4 generations, going back to my great-grandfather, who learnt with the Ben La'ashri by the Shem Shmuel. Ben La'ashri was never blessed with children. His Sefer, Ben La'ashri, the original edition is over here, and I was asked by the original Madfis that whenever I speak about it, since I'm putting together a collection of the Divrei Torah of the Ben La'ashri, that I should try to be mefarsim, that if you want the entire, all the Divrei Torah, this is the original edition. It's called Ben La'ashri Bracha Mishuleshes, and it was published in Bnei Brak. This Madur Chadasha is copyright by the original Malakate. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to put together, because the Divrei Torah, the Ben La'ashri, are sometimes difficult and complicated, we're trying to gather all the Divrei Torah that are more user-friendly, so that more people could understand his Torah, learn his Torah. And as we mentioned numerous times, the Ben La'ashri gave a tremendous haftacha that anyone who says over his Divrei Torah, he will pray for you and bail you out of any trouble in this world or the next world. So for most people, that's not relevant. Who has any troubles in this world or the next world? But if you do, then this is a good skula, if you're a skula person. Anyway, as I mentioned, that the Reb Tzvi Kushelevsky was very attached to the Sefer. He said over the Divrei Torah and the Sefer every day in front of 3 people. And at 88 years old, he was blessed with a child this year. And actually, I mamish didn't even intend to put it on my desk, but I happened to have it on the desk. You ever see this book, Miracle Baby? In this book, Miracle Baby, they bring that the Reb Tzvi Kushelevsky, right here, the Tzaddik of Ranana and the Ben La'ashri. This was a skula that that Reb Tzvi Kushelevsky took advantage of. There's a picture of the special edition of the Ben La'ashri that they printed for his bris, and that the Rebbetzin heard about the promise from the Shiurim given by our Shiurim. Okay, so this is a very good plug, and if anybody wants to be mishtatef in the upcoming Sefer, Berchas HaTzadik, then that opportunity is available. What I would like to do today is share with you 10 highlight Divrei Torah from the Ben La'ashri, ala Torah. And this way, if you're walking down the street, you're in the supermarket, and you see an unknowing guy who you could hold hostage and tell him a Dvar Torah, and he has nowhere to go. You're going to say, you want to hear a Dvar Torah? He's going to say, yeah. Meaning, no, just make it quick. But what could you do? He's going to be polite. He's going to listen to you. So you might as well tell him over a Dvar Torah from the Ben La'ashri. Anyway, here it goes. I collected like my 11 or 10 top favorite Divrei Torah from the Ben La'ashri, starting on Bereshis, going through Sefer Devarim. Here we go. Number 1, this is an observation I never found in any other Sefer other than the Ben La'ashri, and that is, we know the importance of the number 26. 26 is the Shem Havaya, so probably the 26th pasuk in the Chumash, it must be a very significant pasuk. And sure enough, the 26th pasuk in the Chumash is Vayeira Elokim Naseh Adam, and Elokim said, "Let us make man." Isn't that telling? Isn't that interesting? That the 26th pasuk in the Chumash is Vayomer Elokim Naseh Adam. Well, says the Ben La'ashri, Hinei Masha Minyan Chav Vav. that which the number 26, Gematria Havaya, Midas Harachamim, Nizdamin Lepasuk, it chanced upon this pasuk, Vayeira Elokim Nasa Adam Nira Lefarish. We could explain it based on what Chazal say, that originally it entered Hashem's mind to create the world b'midas hadin. He saw the world would not be neskayim, and therefore he was meshatif midas harachmim, and he was makdim it to the midas hadin. That's what it means. B'yoim asois Hashem Elokin. Therefore, the 26th pasuk is merumaz in the pasuk Nasa Adam, because this is the Iker Habriya, which is 26. Or the way I like to say this over is that the crowning achievement, the highlight, the pinnacle of Hashem's chesed, Hashem's rachamim, the way in which the Shem Havaya is manifest in the world, the way that the Shem Havaya could be reflected in this world through the image of Tzelem Elokim, is the 26th pasuk of Vayeira Elokim Nasa Adam. That's number one. Number two, you always wanted to know about railroads and transportation. Like, if I were to ask you, what is the most important thing in this world? You need food, you need air, and after that, what is it? I don't know, a car? Transportation, right? So where is there a remez in the Chumash to transportation? Automobiles, railroad, public transportation. Sure enough, the Ben Lashri says in Parshat Noach, Vayigberu hamayim, says Ben Lashri, the Medrash says, Kach hoisa tevasai shel Noach. Like this was the ark of Noach. Shata al pnei hamayim, it floated on the water. Ka'al beis kairos, like on two beams. So why do Chazal refer to the teva of Noach, that it floated on the water like on two beams? Says Ben Lashri, Nira dezeh inyan chachmas masilas habarzel. This would seem to be a portend to the technology of railroad tracks. Shahoisa oz kfar b'kayach. The potential for technology was then in b'kayach, potential. It did not come out lepayal until Hashem decided, like it says, Eis l'chal chefetz. But there's ein kol chadash tachas hashamesh. The, so to speak, the seeds of the railroad was already seen in the teva of Noach. Parshas Lech Lecha. It says after the bris milah of Avram Avinu, Vayichal ledaber itay, Vayal Elokim meyal Avraham. And God concluded speaking with him, and Elokim went up from upon Avraham. Vayichal ledaber itay, Vayal Elokim. Says Ben Lashri, we could explain based on the Svarim HaKadoshim, the Baal Shem Tov, that the word Elokim is a remez to Hashem guiding the world b'teva, which is Gematria Elokim. Elokim is Gematria HaTeva. And when Avram Avinu was Mekayim, and his household, the mitzvah of Milah, he was elevated Lamala Me'ateva. So you read the pasuk after Bris Milah, Vayichal ledaber itay. God stopped guiding Avraham, Vayal Elokim meyal Avraham, and the Midas HaTeva left Avraham. So after the Bris Milah, when it says Vayichal ledaber itay, Vayal Elokim meyal Avraham, what this means is that until the Bris Milah, Avram Avinu was still governed by the forces of nature. But once Avram Avinu had the Bris Milah, so now Avraham Avinu is above and beyond nature, and now he's zocheh to have children. The Ben Lashri says, "L'fizeh hachi perushay vayichal ledaber." Ledaber is a lashon of hanhaga, lahanhig. Milashon dabar echad ledar. There's one leader per generation. Itay zois hahanhaga. God ceased this kind of guidance of Abraham. Vayal v'nistalek Elokim, which is hanhagas hateva me'al Abraham v'snaig. V'hischel hisnag imay v'chol dairosav lamala menateva, which is the midah of midas harachamim and the shem havaya. So that's how the Ben Lashri reads. Vayichal Elokim Vayichal ledaber itoy Vayal Elokim me'al Avraham. The midas hateva ceased from on Avraham. This is one of my favorite. I actually saw it when I was in Johannesburg a couple months ago. None of the Mefarshim seem to answer this question. It's such a powerful question, such a geschmacka question. V'ha Elokim nisa es Avraham, vayomer elav Avraham, vayomer hineni. You know which words are extra? V'Elokim nisa es Avraham, vayomer elav Avraham. And he said to him, Avraham. Okay, what's the point of those words? Imagine, Ephraim, I'm talking to you, and I want to tell you to do something. And Glatstein said to Ephraim, Ephraim! And Ephraim said yes. Why would I need to say your name as a separate statement? I'm talking to you. I need to say your name. Why do I need to say your name? Why did Hashem say his name? The Ben Lashvi says, Yesh L'daktik, the Elu Hatevos, Vayomer Elav Avraham, L'chayra Nirim K'miyutarm. These words, Vayomer Elav Avraham, and he said to him, Avraham, are extra. What should it have said? V'Elokim nisa es Avraham, Vayomer lo yikachna es bincha. That's the test. Why do you say Avraham? It almost seems like, how did God test Avraham? By saying Avraham. V'Elokim nisa es Avraham, Vayomer elav Avraham. The test was, he said his name. So the Ben Lashvi says the truth is, if God would not have said Avraham, there would not have been a test over here. Why? So the Ben Lashvi quotes his Rebbe, Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai of Bulgarai, on the pasuk, Vayar es hamakoim meirachaik. What does it mean, Vayar es hamakoim meirachaik? The Rebbe from Bulgarai would say like this: had Hashem just told Avram, hey Avram, bring your kid, Avram would have done it. It would not have even been a test. But you know what the test was? Vayar es hamakoim meirachaik. Makoim is a reference to God. God made himself very far from Avraham. Hashem is called Makom, he's called Makom Shel Olam. In general, Hashem was very close to Avram, and Avram felt the closeness. But in order for this to be a test, Hashem distanced himself from Abraham. Normally, when Avram was on a very high madrega and he was mistabek to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there is no nisayon. Whatever Hashem's will was, Avram was mevatel his ratzayin to the ratzayin of Hashem. But now that Hashem wanted to bring Abraham to this big nisayon, he took away from him all the madregos, and he became just like a regular Parshat person. And now it's a big nisayon, because now that Hashem was far from Abraham, it was a big nisayon for Abraham. Question. You know, it's interesting. Let me just see where he says this. He says, the way Hashem made the nisayon of the Akeidah is normally when Hashem spoke to Abraham, you know what he would say? Avraham, Avraham, Yaakov, Yaakov, Moshe, Moshe. That was a lashon of chiba. That was a lashon of endearment. That was a lashon of ahava. And if Hashem would have told Avraham, 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 Avraham would have felt the closeness, and it would not have been a nisayon at all. So in order for Hashem to, so to speak, distance himself from Avraham, so that Avraham should feel far, and this should be a challenge for him, you know what Hashem said? Vayomer elav Avraham. He only said his name one time. And basically Hashem was saying, I'm not that close with you. Now go shecht your son. The way Hashem made the nisayon of the Akeidah, the way Hashem made it, Vayar es hamakom meirachaik, the way Hashem made Avram feel distant is by saying, Avraham, v'Elokim nisa es Avraham. How? Vayomer elav Avraham. And now go take your kid. And Avraham said, Hineni, whatever you want. It doesn't scare me. I'm not afraid by this. It doesn't matter how things appear. I don't do your ratzon because I feel close to you. I do your ratzon because that's the correct thing to do. So that's how the Ben La'ashri understands the Nisayon of the Akeidah. So far we have the 26th pasuk in the Chumash, the remez to railroads, the Nisayon of the Akeidah. Let's move on to the next Dvar Torah. Vayeshev, Parshas Vayeshev. But first, before we get to Vayeshev, you're going to have to turn your heads a little bit. No, I'll turn it for you. Here we go. An amazing Gematria that the Ben La'ashri discovered. The Gematria of Yitzchak v'Rivka. Yitzchak is 208. Rivka is 307. What's 208 and 307? Tefillah. 515. Gematria Tav Kuf Tesvav. Communion, the tefillos that Moshe Rabbeinu davened. Moshe Rabbeinu, we know, davened 515 tefillos. Communion v'Eschanan. Yitzchak davened for Rivka. This is the epitome of tefillah. We don't find that Avraham davened for Sarah. Nowhere does it say that Avraham davened for Sarah. Avraham davened for Avimelech, and because he davened for Avimelech, Kol Masabah Chaveru Hunena Tchila. Yaakov got angry at Rachel that Rachel said daven for me. Also, the whole inyan of tefillah is more spelled out by Yitzchak than Avraham and Yaakov. It says Vayetze Yitzchak Lasuach Basada. By Avraham, it doesn't say he went to daven. It says Vayamoid, and we make a Gzer Shava El Hamakoim, or Vayamoid Pinchas Vayifalo, or by Yaakov Vayifka. But by Mincha, Vayetze Yitzchak La'olam Adam Yezar B'tus HaMincha. So therefore, the whole Gematria of Yitzchak and Rivka is 515, the Gematria of Tefillah. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go back to Vayeshev. Vayeshev, one second, nope. Vayetze. Ready for this? So that's Parshas Chaye Sarah. Now the Ben La'ashri tackles the most difficult question in the Chumash. Yaakov Avinu meets Rachel, and what does he do to Rachel? Vayishak Yaakov LaRachel. How are you going to explain this one? Yaakov Avinu, the Chir Sheva Avos, he meets Rachel Imenu. Vayishak Yaakov LaRachel. Ready for this? This is the best pshat I ever heard. He says Yaakov did like Sfardim do. What do Sfardim do? When Sfardim see a Sefer Torah, they go like this. They kiss their hand and they motion with their hand. Not like Ashkenazim who slobber all over the Sefer Torah and they get their saliva and mucus and bodily fluids all over the Sefer Torah. Excuse me, step aside. You're so close to the Sefer Torah, you don't even know one pasuk by heart and you're slobbering all over the Sefer Torah? Pal, keep your germs to yourself. Where does it say you should lick the Sefer Torah? Okay? Stay back. You do like the Sfardim do. You kiss your hand. You want to slobber? You can do it on your own hand. And then you motion with your hand to the Sefer Torah. It doesn't say Yaakov kissed Rachel. It says Vayishak Yaakov LeRachel. LeRachel. Toward Rachel. He did like the Sfardim. He kissed his hand and he, like V'zois HaTorah. Perush shehera biyadai neged paneh v'noshak yadai b'shvil chibasa keminag hasfardim ba'amiras v'zois haTorah shekol amarim biyadeim neged haTorah umenashkim es yadayim. By the way, by Hagba, all of a sudden everybody's v'zois haTorah. Pal, you didn't even see the ksav yet. You can't point when they just show you the back of the Sefer Torah. You have to wait until you see the lettering. Plus, you're supposed to use the etzba, not who told you the pinky. Why are you using your pinky? Where do you see that? You use the etzba. Say, really? Who does that? How about Reb Chaim Kanievsky? Really? Who says? I'll show you many pictures when Reb Chaim Kanievsky did V'zois HaTorah. Point with your etzba. But the point is, besides that, that's what Yaakov Avinu was doing when he met Rachel. And he says, the Ben La'ashri takes a nice they kiss the mantle itself. Vayishani Vayishanim shoitim, and they act like fools. Shechoshim shaharbi neshikas mitzvah yoser. They think the more you kiss it, the better. Ad shemanichem alam il kol roit PM. Until they deposit all of their phlegm onto the mantle. Ad shenefesh hayafa lo yichol likvar lenashik mimiyos harok v'dayla. Until no sane person can ever get near the mantle again. V'chein b'neshika ala ponim. Ashkenazim. You meet an Ashkenazi at a wedding. Pal, I don't even know you. We're not ready for this yet. Why are you kissing me? No. You could do like the Sfardim. Kiss your own hand and you could point to me. I'll let you know when it's a good time, okay? That's what I'm not saying my opinion. I'm a very friendly guy. Do whatever you want. But you don't scare me. I'm just telling you what the Ben Lashri says. I'm not telling you my personal opinion about these matters. I'll leave that up to bigger people than myself. But he says, Neshika ala pana meiroiv ava menashik b'yoser. He says the raya is mehadachsiv vayishak lohem vayichabek lohem. Why does it say lohem and not vayinash came vayichab came? The answer is that Yaakov Avinu is going l'shitase, that it's not necessary lenashek ala panim. Okay, I just thought you might want to know that. That's how the Ben Lashri understands Vayishak Yaakov l'Rachel. Okay, next, Vayeshev. Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz Megure, Rashi Tevois Yibum. Yibum. And I like this one because the whole purpose of Parshas Vayeshev, it's all a setup for Yehuda to be Miyabim Tamar to start the Malchus Beis David. The only thing is, we've said many times that before Yehuda comes to the scene, first Yosef is the Yesod. So the Parshas Vayeshev begins the sale of Yosef. Now that Yosef is headed down to Mitzrayim, Yehuda's Miyabim Tamar. Now that the Malchus Beis David is into fruition, now Yosef goes and becomes king. But the theme of the Parsha and the main objective of the Parsha, Parshas Vayeshev Yaakov Eretz Megure, is Rashi Tevois Yibam. Parshas Vayechi. Last week, I was always bothered by this question until I saw the Ben Lashri ask this question b'feirosh. The Torah talks about the Patira of Sarah. It alludes to the Patira of Rivka. It talks about the death of Rachel. Nowhere does it say what happened to Leah. Where did Leah go? What happened to Leah? The Ben Lashri says, Vishama kavarti es Leah. All we have is the end of last week. Yaakov says, there I buried Leah. In the Holy Sefer, Tiferes Yisrael, he's medactic. Why doesn't it say when and where Leah died? Says Ben Lashri, I'll give you two answers. One answer is Parshat. Rachel said by the Dudaim, Lachein yishkav imcha halayla. The Mekubalim said that that's referring to Kavura. That Rachel said, you could be buried with him in exchange for tonight and the Dudaim. Meaning in exchange for the Dudaim. What does it mean, Lachein yishkav imcha? It refers to burial. So says the Ben Lashri, well, if she's buried with Yaakov, just like by Yaakov it doesn't say about his death, because Yaakov in Eloi Meis, it doesn't say it by Leah. But another pshat is, says Ben Lashri, the Mekubalim say, and when Moses Montefiore constructed Kever Rachel, some of the Mekubalim were not happy, because we have a tradition that Rachel comes from the world of the revealed, Alma de Aglaya, and Leah is from Alma de Iskasaya. Leah is considered, she comes from the hidden realm, therefore it doesn't say when she died. Okay. Parshas Vayigash for a moment. Yehuda says, Ki eich e'ele elavi. How can I go up to my father? The Ben Lashri interprets this homiletically. How could I go up to my father? Not only how could Yehuda go back to Yaakov, but how could he return his soul on high? Pen era bara shayimtzas avi. Avi hanemar kan, says the Ben Lashri, the avi that it mentions here, the kavana is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like the Avodas Yisrael says on the Mishnah, V'hei Meira Shamayim Aleichem, that you don't want to cause Agmas Nefesh to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay. I'm going to go to Parshas Re'eh for a moment. So far we have the 26th pasuk, number 1. The railroad remez. Vayichal ledaber itai vayal Elokim eyal remez, number 3. We have the Gematria of Yitzchak and Rivka. We have Yaakov kissed Rachel. We have the mystery of Leah's missing Petira. We have Yibam. Here we go, number 8. L'shichnoi sidreshu v'asasham Parshas Re'eh. It says, seek God out in His Mishkan and go there. So the Ben Lashri says he heard from the Beis Yisrael, the Ger Rebbe. Actually, I got a phone call this morning from Eretz Yisrael, from a holy Yid in Bnei Brak, who listened to yesterday's Ben Lashri shir, and he said that he met the Ben Lashri, and he was there when the Ben Lashri and the Beis Yisrael were together. Anyway, the Ben Lashri brings from the Beis Yisrael. The Gemara Megillah says that we start to make inquiries about a Yom Tov 30 days before. Right? Shoylin v'darshim shloishim yom kaidem achag. So one would think, okay, we have the whole Elul to prepare for Rosh Hashanah. So Elul is the time to be doiresh and to prepare for Rosh Hashanah. Says the Torah HaKadoshah, don't wait till Elul. L'shichnoi sidrashu. Start seeking God out, the neighbor of Elul, which is the month of Av. Start seeking Hashem out, because you want to beat the line. You want to beat the high holiday rush. Don't wait until Elul to start doing tshuva. L'shichnoi sidrashu. Seek God out already, the neighbor of Elul, which is the month of Av. Now we're going to end on a semi-happy note. We know the Gemara tells us in Shabbos that Rabbah, before he would start a shir, he would say milsa dibdichusa. He would make a joke, and the Rabbanan would laugh, and then they would sit before him be'ema be'yira be'resas uvazeya. So before you start a shir, you're supposed to, you tell a good joke. Like knock knock. No, we can't do that because we're on Zoom. There are no doors. Except when we're learning the Pesachenu Megadim, so maybe we could knock on the Pesachenu. But anyway, and also I have a hard time doing that because people, I don't even know if they're there. They just put their name up on the Zoom, and I'm not even sure if they're there. But the truth is that, especially the main reason why people don't show their face on the Zoom is because when I make jokes, they fall off the chair, and it's very embarrassing for them. So they try to hide it, and you know what? They're entitled to do that. They should not be required to publicly fall off the chair when I make a joke. So that's why I allow it. Otherwise, I don't let anybody who doesn't fall off their chair. They really should not have their video turned off. Okay, but really, you're supposed to make a joke before a shir. So you say, well, where is that marumas in the Torah that before you start learning, you should have some a little humor? So the Ben Lashri says on the pasuk, V'haya ekev tishma'un. We know ein v'haya elalashain simcha. V'haya simcha when ekev. Ekev is Rashi Tevos koidem esek b'Torah. Before you learn Torah, v'haya, you need to have simcha. V'haya ein v'haya ela simcha when ekev koidem esek b'Torah. If you do that, tishma'un, then you'll understand all as hamishpatim, dinei mamanois, ha'ela, which are difficult, because through a joke, it opens up your mind a little bit. Before you hear the joke, you're cranky, you're mad, you're sad, you're angry, and then when you hear a joke, it just puts you in a better mood. So, v'haya, before, you have to have simcha when ekev koidem esek batara. So you say very good, but what about when the shiur is over? So says Reb Shlomo Kluger, also at the end of a shiur there should be a good joke, because we say smeichim b'tseisam v'sasim b'vayam. It's not only sasim b'vayam. Not only do you rejoice b'vayam, but it's also smeichim b'tseisam. So you say, then why don't we end the joke? Why don't we end the shiur with a joke? We do. The thing is, you log off too soon. When everybody logs off, that's when the best jokes come. So you don't want to log off too soon. Okay, so that is the penultimate Dvar Torah, and here is finally number 10. Vayar Balak, and Balak saw it. I don't understand. We name a Parsha in the Torah after a Rasha like Balak? A Rasha like Balak gets a Parsha named after him? There's no Parsha in the Torah named after Tzadikim. You know? Why don't we have... So why is there a Parsha named after a Rasha? Says the Ben Lashri in the name of Rabbi Meir mi Parmeshlan. He says, Rashi tells us in Parshas Vayishlach, Halacha biyadua she'esav soinel Yaakov. It is a reality that Esav hates Yaakov. But they tell us how much they love us and respect us and honor us. They're lying. They say all of their decrees are for our benefit. They're lying. The reality is Esav soinel Yaakov. So finally, when we have a guy like Balak who publicizes his hatred and his animosity openly, and he's being Mekayim halacha. Balak is Mekayim halacha. Halacha biyadua she'esav soinel Yaakov. We have to be mechabed him. We give him his own parsha. Finally, somebody is telling the truth. So that's the Ben Lashri. He says b'derech tzachos, tzachos. And the Ben Lashri goes on to say there's a deeper reason for it. The first letter of Balak is the first letter of the Torah. Kuf is one of the names of Hashem, and so on and so forth, where the Ben Lashri explains the deeper meaning of the name of the Parsha. Anyway, these are some choice Divrei Torah for the Ben Lashri. Today, Yud Gimel Teves is the Yahrtzeit of the Ben Lashri, and B'ez Hashem, all of these will be in the upcoming Sefer Berachos HaTzadik. If anybody wants to be mishtatev, it's already submitted for to be worked on for publication. Have a great day, everyone. Bracha v'atzlacha.
Thank you.
Kol tov.
I was laughing my head off about the Yahrtzeit.
You were?
Yes, I was.
See, I knew it. Okay, there we go. Okay.
What he was saying.
We're waiting for the later joke now.
The later joke?
Rabbi,
Yeah.
difference you mentioned, Sasan and Simcha.
Smeichim b'tseisam v'sasam b'vayam.
Difference between Sasan and Simcha.
Yeah, Simcha actually is inner joy, and Sason is outer joy.
Now, I have it wrong. Your time will come when you're a grandparent to know that when the grandchildren arrive at Sasan, and when they leave, it's Simcha.
Very good.
You'll understand that better in the years to come.
Amen.
Hashem.
Amen.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Kol tov.